China's Navy is on a roll. The Navy, or more properly the People's Liberation Army Navy, has launched more than 100 ships of all kinds over the past decade, including destroyers, amphibious ships, frigates, and corvettes. The plan is now the largest navy in Asia, with more than 300 warships. Yet of the hundreds of warships that fly the Chinese flag, none are as important symbolically and practically as the country's aircraft carriers. Consisting of 2 carriers and a third on the way, the small but growing carrier fleet is evolving into a serious challenge to the U.S. Navy's dominance of the Asia-Pacific. China's first carrier, the Liaoning, was commissioned in 2012 but has a history much longer than that. Originally built during the Cold War at the Soviet Union's Nikolaev shipyards in Ukraine, the ship was incomplete when the USSR broke apart in 1991. The hull languished for years, until a Hong Kong businessman came along with the proposal to buy the ship from and turn it into, of all things, a floating hotel and casino. Ukraine, with no use for it and an appetite for hard cash, was only too happy to sell the rusting hulk. The hotel and casino explanation, if you couldn't tell from how absurd it was already, was a cover story, and the ship's ultimate destination was the plan. The ship was towed all the way to Dalian, China in 2000, and the Chinese government spent the next 12 years studying it and completing it as an actual, working carrier. The ship was renamed Liaoning, and commissioned into the Chinese Navy in September 2012. Liaoning is 995 feet long and weighs 60,000 tons fully loaded. It typically carries 24 J-15 fighter jets and up to a dozen anti-submarine and utility helicopters. Lacking the technical knowledge to build aircraft catapults common on American carriers, Chinese engineers fitted Liaoning with a ski ramp designed to help loft fighters into the air. The use of a ski ramp limits the weight, and thus range and combat power, of Liaoning's fighter jets versus those launched by traditional catapults.